Imagine checking into a luxurious 5-star hotel, your heart racing with forbidden excitement, only to come face to face with the one person who could unravel your entire world in seconds. That's exactly what happened to David Marshall, a man who thought he could outrun his lies, until the truth walked through the door, wearing his wife's face and a smile that could shatter glass. Stay with me, because this story of betrayal, redemption, and unexpected power will leave you questioning how far someone can fall, and how high they can rise. David Marshall adjusted his tie in the mirror of the penthouse suite at the Grand Elysian, a 5-star hotel that sparkled like a jewel against the city skyline. The room smelled of fresh orchids, and the king-sized bed was draped in silk sheets that whispered luxury. At 42, David had built a comfortable life as a financial consultant, but comfort had bred restlessness. His marriage to Sarah, his wife of 15 years, felt like a well-worn sweater, safe but suffocating. Enter Lily, the vibrant 28-year-old paralegal from his office, with her infectious laugh and a gaze that made him feel alive again. Tonight, he'd promised her a weekend of indulgence, a secret escape from the monotony of his life. As Lily twirled in a red dress that hugged her curves, David's phone buzzed. A text from Sarah, working late again? Be safe. Guilt pricked at him, but he shoved it down. Sarah was always working, always buried in her projects, leaving little room for him. He deserved this, he told himself. He deserved to feel something again. Ready, handsome? Lily purred, slipping her arm through his. David grinned, his heart pounding with the thrill of secrecy. They stepped out of the suite, the hotel's golden chandeliers casting a warm glow over their clandestine adventure. Downstairs, the hotel's restaurant buzzed with the clink of crystal glasses and soft jazz. David had reserved a private booth, tucked away from prying eyes. Lily's laughter bubbled over their champagne, and for a moment, David forgot the weight of his double life. But as the waiter poured their second glass, a chill ran through him. Across the room, a woman in a sharp blazer moved with purpose, her auburn hair catching the light. It couldn't be. His pulse quickened. Sarah? No, she was at her office, miles away. He shook it off, blaming the champagne, but the unease lingered like a shadow. The next morning, David woke to Lily's soft breathing beside him. Sunlight streamed through the suite's floor-to-ceiling windows, painting the room in gold. He should have felt triumphant, but the unease from last night clung to him. He slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Lily, and checked his phone. Another text from Sarah, big day today. Wish me luck. He frowned. Sarah hadn't mentioned anything specific, but then again, their conversations had grown sparse, reduced to logistics and polite check-ins. He typed a quick reply, good luck, and headed downstairs for coffee, hoping to shake the growing knot in his stomach. The hotel lobby was a symphony of polished marble and fresh flowers, with guests milling about in designer suits and dresses. David was halfway to the cafe when a voice stopped him cold. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It was Sarah's voice, clear and commanding, echoing through the lobby. He turned, his breath catching. There she was, standing on a small stage near the concierge desk, her auburn hair swept into an elegant updo, her navy suit exuding authority. The crowd applauded as a banner unfurled behind her, Grand Elysian welcomes new owner, Sarah Marshall. David's legs felt like lead. Owner? How? Sarah had been a project manager at a mid-tier firm, not a hotel magnate. His mind raced, piecing together fragments, her late nights, her cryptic comments about a big opportunity. Had she been planning this all along? And then, the worst realization hit, she was here, now, in the same hotel where he'd brought Lily. His palms grew sweaty as Sarah's eyes scanned the crowd. For a split second, their gazes locked. Her smile didn't falter, but something in her expression, a flicker of steel, told him she knew. Lily appeared at his side, oblivious, her arm looping through his. Who's that? She asked, nodding toward Sarah. David's throat tightened. Just, someone, he managed, steering her toward the cafe. But Sarah's voice followed them, announcing plans for the hotel's future, each word a reminder of the life he'd taken for granted. He needed to get out, to think, but Lily's chatter and the weight of Sarah's presence pinned him in place. The walls of the Grand Elysian, once a haven, now felt like a trap closing in. By midday, David was a wreck. He'd sent Lily to the spa, claiming he needed to handle a work call, but really, he needed space to process. How had Sarah pulled this off? The Grand Elysian wasn't just any hotel, it was a multi-million-dollar property. He remembered her late-night meetings, her exhaustion, her quiet determination. Had she been secretly building an empire while he'd been chasing fleeting thrills? Shame washed over him, hot and bitter. He'd underestimated her, dismissed her as predictable, while she'd been rewriting their story. He found her in the hotel's executive office, a sleek space overlooking the city. Sarah sat behind a mahogany desk, reviewing documents, her face calm but unreadable. "David," she said, not looking up. "Close the door." His heart hammered as he obeyed. The silence stretched, heavy with everything unsaid. Finally, she met his eyes. "Did you think I wouldn't find out?" Her voice was steady, but the hurt beneath it cut deeper than any accusation. David stammered, his carefully rehearsed excuses crumbling. "Sarah, I didn't mean for this to happen." She laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. "You didn't mean to bring your mistress to my hotel?" She leaned forward, her gaze piercing. "I've spent years building something real, David. While you were playing games, I was buying this place. I wanted to surprise you, to show you what we could achieve together. But you chose her." He wanted to explain, to beg, but the words felt hollow. Sarah stood, her voice softening but firm. "I'm not the one who's lost here. You are." She handed him a folder, divorce papers, already drawn up. "You can stay the weekend," she said. "But after that, you're out of my hotel, and my life." David stood frozen, the folder trembling in his hands, as Sarah walked out, her heels clicking with finality. The rest of the weekend was a blur. Lily sensed something was wrong and left early, her flirtations replaced by awkward silence. David stayed in the suite, replaying Sarah's words, the folder untouched on the nightstand. He thought of their early years, her laughter at his terrible cooking, their dreams of a life built together. He'd let it slip away, chasing a fantasy that now felt cheap and empty. By Sunday, he knew he couldn't leave without trying to make things right. He found Sarah in the hotel's garden, a quiet oasis of roses and fountains. She looked tired but resolute, her hands clasped around a coffee cup. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice breaking. "I was a fool. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need you to know I see you now. I see what you've built, and I'm so proud of you." Sarah's eyes softened, but her guard stayed up. "Pride isn't enough, David. Trust is gone. I don't know if we can rebuild that." He nodded, the weight of her words settling in. "I know. But I want to try, not just for us, but for me. To be better." Sarah studied him, then offered a small nod. "Start by being honest with yourself. That's the only way." She walked away, leaving him among the roses, a man stripped bare but with a flicker of hope. David left the Grand Elysian that day, the divorce papers signed but his heart lighter. He enrolled in therapy, determined to understand why he'd strayed. Months later, he started volunteering at a community center, helping others rebuild their lives. Sarah's hotel thrived, a testament to her strength, and though they never reconciled, they found a tentative peace, exchanging occasional messages about shared memories. David learned that redemption wasn't about erasing the past but about building a future worth living. Closing hook. And so, David's story isn't just about a man caught in a scandal, it's about the moment we all face when our choices stare us down. Have you ever stood at a crossroads, knowing one path could change everything? Sarah rose from betrayal to build an empire, while David learned that true strength comes from owning your mistakes. Let this story remind you, no matter how far you fall, there's always a way to rise, stronger, wiser, and ready to rewrite your own ending. What's the one choice you'd make today to change your tomorrow? Tell me in the comments, and let's keep this story going.